right, so start streaming. Let me click this. I'll tell you when we're live. I think we're live now, Ellen. I think so.
Yay!
All right.
Okay, I just got a notification from YouTube that you're live, so it must be true.
Awesome. And so now the big
Because YouTube doesn't
indicator.
lie.
No, right? No. We're going to hope that we don't have an echo. So we are on a little bit of a delay. So I'm always going to just kind of hang out here just for a little bit and ask the people who are in the chat room, there's a lot of them in there, if they are hearing any sort of an echo. So that way we can try and deal with this. They're all like, we're running late. Guys, if you have not been around for the last several podcasts, I want you to know YouTube changed to where I can no longer do the Google Hangouts live on air. And so I've been working with different ways to broadcast the show. And we've been using Skype, but as you know, if you've been hearing that there has been an echo. And so I was trying to do something else today called Zoom. So for the last 2 hours, I was working with Zoom to try and get things cleared up there and get live on there. But we couldn't get that to work. So then we had to go back here to Skype. So we're hoping there is no echo. And right now, Ellen, they are telling us there is no echo.
Hey, win. Yes.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to start off the show with, hey everybody, welcome to the Yarn Thing podcast. I'm your host, Marley Bird. You can catch the Yarn Thing podcast, I'm going to say most Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock Mountain Time. That's 12 o'clock on the East Coast, 9 o'clock on the West Coast, and 11 o'clock in the Midwest. Tonight's show is obviously in the evening because that is what worked out best for Ellen and myself. Sometimes you just got to be able to go with the flow.
Thanks, everybody.
We are blessed here on the Yarn Thing podcast to have wonderful sponsors. So we're going to say thank you to Erin Lane Bags, Buffalo Wool Company. There goes John. Stitches.events, Creative Bug, and last but certainly not least, Red Heart Yarns, where I am their national spokesperson as of right now. So I don't know how my title will change with the new connection with Yarnspirations, but as of right now, that's where we are. We're with the Red Heart, home of chic sheep yarn. So tonight's guest, you guys, she's one of my best friends. Ellen Gormley and I have been friends, I think it's going on like 13 years now. I mean, I know, right? Since the very first time I met her, when I think you were running late coming into Robin Chichula's class at a TNNA.
Yes.
And it was the first time I met you and Robin, and I just fell in love with both of you at the same time. So we've been friends for a long time, and I know a lot of people joke around that I have a lot of my friends on the show. I'm always like, this is one of my best friends, but Ellen really is. I don't think there's a day that goes by that we don't text each other in our group text, you know?
Yep.
With Becca and Lindsay and Joe, and
yep.
It's just...
It's a real thing.
Right? You're just fantastic. So Ellen, you guys, is a crochet designer. She does know how to knit, but she is a crochet designer. She was the editor of Crochet Magazine. She has been the crochet expert on the Knit and Crochet Now television show, which you guys have probably saw us both on there on the one season that I was on the show with her.
That was so much fun.
Right? She is an author of several different books. She has a blog. She has 2 beautiful children. Her daughter just went away to college.
Mm-hmm.
So excited for her, right here in Indiana.
Yes, not far from you.
Yeah, and I don't even know, she got a dog recently, and she has kitty cats, and she has her own YouTube channel as well. So I don't know what more to say about you, Ellen, other than, I mean, I love you with all my heart, and anybody who meets you loves you.
Oh, thank you, honey.
I just know everybody is going to fall in love with you here. So we are here today to talk about your crochet career, like the advancing of your YouTube channel, and how you're taking your teaching to the tubes.
To the tube.
Your wonderful new book
that
has come out, which I'm excited to see.
I know, and I can't wait for you to receive one.
Awesome.
So the book, this is book number 6, and it fell in between that interesting time period in the yarn industry where everything is shifting and morphing. And so it was contracted through Interweave Crochet or Interweave Press, Interweave Publications with F&W. And then after some time, they decided to sell the company. So the book division got purchased by Random House Penguin. So I have not met anybody there yet. And my editors from Interweave are no longer part of the team. So I'm lone wolf. So anybody who wants to join me on this crazy ride, I am thrilled to have more people and to be.
Put me in, coach.
I'll be to be part of my pack. I don't have to be the alpha. I'm happy to share. So I would love for people to join my pack because it's more fun with friends. It's more fun with friends. So I have the book. So
Yes.
I have one. They have sent me one, but it's up for pre-sale on Amazon right now, and so I think people are telling me that the pre-order people are getting theirs next Tuesday. So very, 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 very soon.
Okay.
So
Is there a Kindle version? Kindle version available?
I don't know because they have failed to answer that question when I've asked them. I
Okay.
think they're just really, really busy with the whole transition of acquiring this new company. So I'm not even
Girl,
sure.
I understand how that goes.
Transition is the word for 2019, don't you think?
Oh my gosh, yes. I know while you were going through all of this, I mean, we're both Interweave authors and
Right.
we've done a lot of work with Interweave. I think they were that's where you were first published too, right?
Well,
Interweave
F and
Crochet?
W,
F&W.
F and
Yeah.
W, and then Interweave
Yes.
or F and W bought Interweave or the
Interweave.
other way around. I forget which.
Yeah,
And
but
yeah,
still, the change has just been it affected or impacted so many careers that you and I are a part of. And I knew you were working on this book, so I was really happy when I found out that Random House Penguin Publishing
yes,
purchased that when it was. Because it went through bankruptcy.
right.
I mean, I think we're okay saying that. It's public knowledge. And so it was acquired through bankruptcy. And I think it's great because Random House Penguin Publishing does some really wonderful books. And I'm
Absolutely.
glad that they continued on with your book. Because I'm not going to lie, I was so afraid that so many of my friends who
Hmm.
had books in progress were going to be like, we're just not going to publish it right now. We're going to take a back seat. So I'm glad yours definitely went forward.
Oh, thank you. I am too. And I'm so grateful that Random House Penguin bought the company because literally they like closed on the sale and somebody hit print on my book because it was waiting to be printed and it was like all ready and was just sitting there in stasis. And so I was so thrilled. And it's a good company. So I think they're going to do great and I think they're going to do right by me and the project. It's just a matter of transition and them even looking to see what ducks they have so they can then put them in a row. So it's going to be okay. And all of the people who pre-ordered on Amazon, you're going to get your books. Like I know they've already printed them. So it's going to happen.
That's
But
cool.
it's hard. It's kind of just scary to just sit and wait because originally the book was going to be out in July and then it got pushed a little bit while they figured things out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have this weird, like
The
the light is
sun.
giving. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
pretty coming in, but it's so you get to see my lovely kitchen. There you go. Maybe I should try and block the. How do I block the
You're
trash
like
can?
you're like in the chair for like Star Wars when he's like going around
I
the Millennium Falcon.
know.
Like
I know. The
you just
funny part is when John comes down, I'm gonna have to make sure I warn him,
yeah.
so because he did just get
Mayday.
home from work. I
Put
know.
on a shirt.
You have no idea what might be coming down. This could quickly become a very different
Yeah, you're
podcast.
gonna have to text him right now, like, just to warn you,
I
put on
know.
a shirt.
I know, but can we appreciate the light looks really good
It
right here.
does. You look fantastic. It's all
So,
good.
anyways, yes, I am so happy. I love the simplicity of your designs. I love that they're very accessible to many different skill levels. You write patterns very well. You know what people want. Um, I, I have so many different questions. I don't even know where to start. Let's start with how does this book differ from some of your other books that you have out there?
Okay, so first, I have a couple of things to tell you. So funny. So this is book number 6. So the first book was Go Crochet Afghan Design Workbook, and that was 50 motifs that you could mix and match, like puzzle pieces to make mostly blankets, but you could certainly use it as a stitch dictionary of sorts and like go do your own thing. And that was a lot of fun. And then I had Learn Bruges Lace, which was a technique book, but also had projects, and that was a lot of fun. Actually, I got a couple for you. So I've got like 5 more of these at home, the Learn Bruges Lace and Afghan Design Workbook. And people who watch my YouTube channel, like the blanket on the table that I use as my tablecloth when I demonstrate, it's the all call blanket accessories. And then I did another motif book that I don't even have a copy of. And then we have this one. And so this one is one skein. So the concept is when you go to buy yarn, you don't always know what you're going to do with it. And so a lot of people are kind of like, do I buy one? Do I buy 6? Like, you don't know. So a lot of people buy just one. I know, always 6. See, some people just buy one and they figure, oh, I'll swatch with it and then figure it out later. But I wanted to use up all of the one skeins that people have in their stash, whether it was a whole ball that was left over, or it was a fraction of a ball that was left over from a project, or you just have like that one souvenir that somebody bought you and it was so nice of them to buy you a skein of yarn, but one skein is not a lot. So I wrote a book to address how to use up all of our lonely skeins of yarn, and not just making like a gazillion bracelets until you run out of. And there's not that there's anything wrong with that, but I wanted substantial projects to where you like use up the entire skein, and so all 15 projects use up the entire skein that is recommended for the projects.
That's so cool. So I'm messing with
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So here's a question for you, because one of the things I really get scared of when I'm working on designs is, okay, so this used one full skein for me with my gauge and everything that I do, but what if somebody tends to crochet bigger? Like, I know for me, when I'm crocheting, I make sure that my stitches are always the same size as this. Even when I'm pulling them, you yarn over, pull up a loop, I make sure that they're the same size. Like, people will complain on YouTube that I will hold my stitch and they're like, your fingers are in the way. And I'm like, I'm not doing anything different. I'm literally just making sure that stitch doesn't get any bigger. So if somebody else doesn't do that and they tend to use, ever so little amount of yarn, little extra all the way along the way,
it adds up.
Yeah, and so I'm always afraid that when I say there's one skein of something, I'm like, okay, should I just weigh this and make sure that I'm not using maybe like 3 ounce, or not 3 ounces, but like, a good chunk of it, so that way that it eats that up? Or like, how did you balance that out?
Well, I think there's a couple different ways to use my book. One is to like choose and purchase one skein of the exact things that are used in the book, and then work it to gauge so that it works. That's one way. The other way to do it is to get like this design, for example, this cowl is a Bruges lace style cowl. And you could go grab something from your stash that is similar in weight and yardage. Doesn't have to be the exact yarn, but you would keep going until you get the number of repeats that you use up the yarn. So if your gauge is like too loose, well, then you're gonna use up your yarn faster than I used up my yarn. So you're gonna have to be somewhat flexible in terms of the goal is to use up the yarn. Don't you love using up the yarn?
I really do.
Using up the yarn. I hate having like 15 yards left. I mean, it's like, what do you do with that? Like, you don't want to throw it away, but
no. But I'm like, this won't go another row. I can't use this.
Right? I mean, how many crochet bracelets can you have?
Right now. I know, it's so true. This is my life right now.
I know.
Like,
but it's too good to throw away. It's like having a pet. Yes. It's like, it's too good.
I totally snorted.
And so many skeins like I buy on like vacation, and they're like sentimental, and I don't want to like throw them away, but I don't know what to do with them either. And so the concept, so there's like several strategies in the book where you work from the bottom up, or you work from the top down, or you work around, or you work the measurement you want the most. Like if you really want a scarf that is at least this X number inches long, well, then that's the measurement that's important to you. So let's work that way. And then as wide as it gets depends on the stitch pattern and stuff that you use. So there's strategies in the book, like kind of recipes to help people use up their stash. So, but if you want to be enabled and want me to tell you that you have to go out and buy lots of yarn, you can do that too. So you don't have to tell your significant other, no, tell them you have to buy the book because it's going to help you use up your stash. But then you get the book and you're like, oh, I have to have that yarn. Wink, wink, you nudge, nudge. And then, of course, you should buy two because, you want one in each color.
Yeah.
So if you're still excited about buying yarn, you still totally can do that. Like, don't think that one skein crochet means you only are allowed to buy one. You totally can buy a whole basket of yarn if you want.
Just tell them Ellen gave you permission to buy a basket of yarn.
Ellen said, go buy a basket of yarn. Like, especially, for example, chic sheep yarn. Because there's a hat in here with chic sheep yarn, and it uses one skein.
I hear that's great yarn.
It's fantastic yarn. It comes lots of colors, and it's
here's stiletto.
And this one is polo. So this is one of the hats. And so, yeah, okay. The truth is you only need one ball, but once you do it, you're going to want to make a whole bunch and lots of it. You're welcome.
It's a great idea. I was so happy when you
Who wants to be on a yarn diet? Nobody. I don't want to be on a yarn diet.
I don't want to be on any diet. Like, especially not a yarn diet. Come on. I mean, yeah. For real.
Which brings me to another point, if you'll let me digress a little bit, because you had said at the beginning that, what did you say? That I make practical projects. And one of the projects in the book is this top that I'm wearing. It is the least practical thing on the planet. I will be the first to tell you that, what grown woman wants to wear a crop top that you can see through? Like, it is so tiny.
I think you look beautiful, though. You look beautiful.
So it's perfect if you put it on a 6-year-old. But the point is, it's 250 yards. So sometimes you have tiny skeins of yarn, and you still want to make a usable project. Well, you could make a holy crop top if you want, or you could make which is in the book, by the way, or you could make a really gorgeous little, like, neckerchief, like, and that's monostil Uruguay. It's only it's a really tiny amount of yardage, but it's just one ball. You can still make pretty things. So it may not fit every person's size, and I may not go out in public like this, but but I can go on YouTube for the world to see. It's all good. But there's something for everybody in the book. You know what I mean? And I think that it still has value. So while this crop top might not fit every person, I love this motif.
I love that crop top. Like, okay, so I wear this dress all the time on YouTube, because it's a plain black dress. I can put a vest over it. I could put a shawl on it. I could do a necklace. I could do whatever.
Right.
To me, the top you're wearing is just like, it's like a necklace. It's where I could totally wear that over even the long sleeve plain Jane Old Navy dress that I wear all the time. Like, I love it. Yeah, see?
So here's the model wearing it. So cute. But it's like 200 yards. It's like, yeah, that's not a lot of yardage. So one of the strategies in the book, of course, is to lighten up or to lace it up. And that's how you make yarn go much further, and cover more inches, literally. So, but I think the motif is fun. Like, I can't wait to take this little Bruges lace inspired motif and make like a big old shawl out of it. Can you imagine? So it would be really fun. So I think that there's a lot of techniques in the book that then can be translated to other projects. So whether it be a Bruges lace motif that inspires you to make something else, or the overlay crochet, like in the greenery hat, the chic sheep polo greenery hat, there's a lot of fun techniques to use in the book that you can get inspired by and stuff. So I think people really, and there's very little commitment. And we all hate commitment. So it's like, unless it's a Netflix marathon, in general, there's not much commitment that we want. Our life is so fast that one skein projects you could have done in 2 hours. You could have done in a
Yes.
weekend. You can have done, and you know what? You've committed to one ball of yarn. Like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
not happy with it, get another one.
Yeah.
It's not a big investment of time. It's not a big investment of money, mostly, depending on, but then you could also choose to splurge with something that might be a little bit more pricey or a little bit more gourmet or a little more special for an accessory or a gift. And it's only one. So then it becomes an
Yeah.
affordable luxury.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I'm a firm believer in one skein, you know. And so I've made a lot of projects since the book just with the one skein philosophy that, I want to design it in such a way that you start and you finish the project when you're out of yarn. Done.
Yeah, the instant gratification of that is a big deal for me. So, as a designer, we get sent a lot of different yarns, and you
You
don't
get
get like,
one. Yeah.
yeah, you get one, and so that's all I keep thinking. I'm like, I bet half the time that's sort of a challenge to get it to where you could just use one.
Right. Right.
But the yarn companies like that because then it allows people to feel like they don't have to invest this huge investment in a sweater's quantity when they could just go and buy one, maybe two if they wanted it a little bit bigger
Right.
or whatnot.
Right. Or
So
if
it seems
they
very
test
smart.
it out, and then you can really test it out and fall in love with it. Because when you
Yeah,
try some of these yarns and you think, oh, I'm just going to buy one, then you fall in love with it. And yeah, you're going to go back to it again when you really
yeah,
enjoy how it feels and how it works up and how it wears. So
right.
it's a way to kind of like taste a lot of different yarns and go through the book 15 projects and try 15 new yarns you've never tried before,
I love that.
So go
One
through
of the
your
things,
stash.
yeah, one of the things I wanted to point out as you were showing me the book up there was that you have charts included,
I
and
do.
you've been on the show before, and we've talked about the importance of charts, that how we feel, and how you brought charts into the magazine when you were an editor there, and then you added charts to the book here.
Ooh.
I think that, oh my gosh, I love charts. Hold on,
Okay.
now I just don't know if they can hear me when I do that, so I'm going to
Okay.
switch back because I have no clue. Um, now I've lost my train of
You were
thought.
talking about
Oh,
diagrams and how we
yes.
believe in them.
So one thing that I really like about that is, say somebody picks a project and they choose a different type of yarn and it has more yardage, and they're like, you know what, I want to make this a little bit bigger.
Right.
I find it easier to be able to find those repeats in a chart versus in the
Right.
words to be able to see just how much wider or longer I want to make something.
Totally.
Is that something that you consciously thought of
Oh,
before you?
absolutely. And the
Yeah.
diagram that I just showed you were motifs. It's the tumbling hexagon, half hexagon scarf. So you make the motif and then you just add another one, and then you add another one, and you add another one. And it's kind of like those monkeys, the barrel of monkeys when we were a kid. If you
Uh
can
huh.
conceptualize like each motif is a monkey, and you just keep right on going on up. And so if you have a skein of yarn that's bigger than that tiny little Manos de Uruguay gorgeous silk blend, then you could just keep going until you decide you're done, whether you run out of yarn or you decide, oh, that's really what I want, and you finish. Or you use that exact yarn and you get the lovely little short ascot that's in a luxury yarn that's a gorgeous use of your time and money, and you get a project
Absolutely.
that you cherish. So yes,
Absolutely.
a lot of the projects are designed where you just keep going until you decide you're ready to be done.
I love that. So Joe's Web is what it says on here. She says, "Who are you gonna call? Stash Busters."
I love that. I
That's
love that.
hilarious.
Absolutely.
I want to take a minute and thank you. Thank Chris Lopez for being the moderator in the
Oh,
live
yes.
chat
Thanks,
tonight.
Chris.
And she wants to make sure that she's there and say hello to you. She
Thank
is a
you.
big fan of yours as well.
Thank you.
Many people are talking about this being a great idea for a jumping off for designing. And I was thinking that too because in a way, this is exactly what designers do. They look at the yarn they have, okay, so I have this much yarn. Do I want to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit longer, a little bit shorter? What do I want to do?
Right.
And I love all of your books to me lend themselves to kind of a jumping off point for designing,
Right.
whether it's the motif books to take those and create something else. Like
Right.
I love the inspiration your books generate. Is that something you had thought about before?
Oh, thank you. Yes, very much. Like I want people to feel like they're part of the design process with me. It's not just me giving you the recipe, but I want you to I want my readers to feel like you're part of it. They're part of it with me. So yes, as a designer, we're often, well, and this top is a perfect example. So there were 12 projects in the book, and the editor, and I can kind of throw her under the bus a little because she's not even listed, because I had like 3 different editors through the whole transition. And she's like, we really need a garment in the book. And I'm like, a garment, a one skein garment, a garment, really? A one, like, right? You know, like you do, like, yarn, right? A one skein, a one skein garment. So I'm thinking, I'll give you a visual aid here. So I'm thinking one skein garment. Well, skeins come, I'm thinking, okay, something like this, right? Like you're like, you're going to give me an adult size skein, right? For an adult size garment. No, she gives me 200 yards. So as a designer, we're often given this design, I wouldn't call it a problem, but a design challenge. Make a garment in one skein that's 200 yards. Voila, this is what I came up with. But in the book, there's strategies for how you can use up yarn. So as designers, we would like maybe sketch it out and think of all the different construction ways, so that if you made it top down, which this is, well, then you can keep going at the bottom until you run out of yarn, or you can make the sleeves longer, or you can grow that way. Now, if you started from the bottom up, you're stuck with the limit of the neckline. So to maximize yarn, there's strategies, and people can play with that design concept after reading the book and just go nuts and make your own thing. Absolutely.
In the chat room, people are asking if your editor, were they wanting a doll garment, a new?
But it's still a fun challenge as a designer to like come up with something that meets these crazy criteria. It's like, what was that show, Project Runway? It's like, okay, make it work. Make it work. That's exactly it. Make it work. Make a forward fashion garment using, trash bags and silver duct tape. You just got to do it. So I think, though, that it still has value. And when the average fun crocheter gets one skein, I hope they see the potential, that it's not just, okay, I can make a pair of earrings. Well, no, there's a lot of things you can make. And I hope that after reading the book, they can really see that it can really become a wide variety of things.
I love it. Dawn Tennyson said,
what did she say?
She said, a bralette with fringe.
You can do it. Just because it hasn't been done doesn't mean it shouldn't be. I'd put the fringe on the top.
So that when you walked, it went like this.
It would maybe like create volume.
Don't jump. It like hit you in the face when you jump up. Smack. Like flogging yourself.
Oh my goodness. It would be a distraction. The older I get, the more ADD I am, and I'm seeing like all sorts of potential here. My next book is going to be all about fringe.
Can I be a contributor? Because I would love to be a contributor. Oh my God. Ooh, okay.
Okay. Oh yeah. Back to the topic. What were we talking about again?
Okay.
Oh dear.
So bralettes with fringe. So 200 yards, make an adult garment. Chris Lopez says that editor definitely doesn't understand.
I know.
Yarn.
I think she was like needlepoint, like, which is great. Ridiculous. It's yarn. It's
something.
It's yarn. But
I mean, God bless you. You're like a size 2. I'm like a size 20. Could you imagine?
And it's still too small for me. That's what I'm saying. I need to find like a 6-year-old. You can't see the whole screen, but it like literally stops under my rib cage. Like that's it. Like it's like a crop top. Like that's it.
I love it. Oh, but it looks so cute on you. It really does.
Yeah. Do you think I should wear it to work?
You could. Well, not
Not
work.
work, not work.
But it's cute. It's so cute.
Thank you. But it's
Let's talk
fun, and
about,
I think the
yeah.
motif is still fun, and so I hope people
Oh
still
yeah.
give the motif a try.
I love it. It's adorable. I mean, you could even, like you said, get a couple more, make it longer, and it could be
Yes,
like the outside shell of a dress or
right.
something. I love
Get a
that.
bigger one skein.
Yes,
Just get
exactly.
one, but get one with, 1,000
But
yards
yes, exactly.
instead of 250 yards.
So let's talk about the color palette.
Okay.
One of the things that I have admired about all of your books, I mean, you do such a good job on the color palette selection. What was your color palette with this book?
Yeah, ironically, it's fall themed with the colors. The colors are actually all very fall, autumn colors. There's
Uh-huh. Okay.
plum and wine and, greens, and it's all very autumn. But the way they just photographed it with this like modern vintage with the
Mm-hmm.
pastel backgrounds, I'm just in love with it. I was just so happy with the fresh feel of the photography. But yes, they're all autumn colors, which I tend to gravitate toward. And one of the other things that I focused hard on was using multicolored yarn, because I feel like in crochet, multicolored yarn doesn't make it to the forefront very often. It's hard
Yeah.
to make crochet look great in a multicolored yarn sometimes. But when they look so gorgeous in the hank, they look so
Yes.
beautiful. And they're,
Absolutely.
it's like the siren, like, buy me, buy me. And then you buy it and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, it looks blobby. When you make it,
Yeah.
it's like it's a
Yeah.
Monet. It looks blobby,
Hmm.
and you get up close and it looks. So I used a lot of color, and so this is a one skein multicolored project, and this is
I
the
love it.
coral reef scarf, and
I
it's,
love that.
yeah, it's Cascade 220 wave, and so there's a lot of color in this, and so yeah, it would look gorgeous in a solid color, but when it's just one skein, you can really be adventurous with your use of color, and go grab those multicolored skeins that have been lonely in your drawer for crochet, because sometimes they don't look quite as good crocheted, I think, in my opinion. Don't kill the messenger, than they do knitted. But I want crocheters to have fun with multicolor as well. So the little scarf, the mono scarf, is kind of flecked and not a solid color. And the Lorna's Laces garden shawlette is kind of multicolored. So I really focused hard on how to make multicolored yarn gorgeous in crochet for this book, because I think it's easy to gravitate towards solids and not give those
Yeah.
multicolored ones a try.
I think you did a very good job. Like those are all very lovely and very nice. And I mean, let's reiterate the fact that if some of those pieces seem to be too small for you out there, you guys, she's prepped the book, loaded the book with information so that you
Right,
can make things bigger.
right.
So you can make things Marley size.
Absolutely. So
Because that shawlette would be like a kerchief on
right,
me.
but it's made in the shape of like a V, so it
Hmm.
starts low and grows out. So
Yep,
if you choose
perfect.
a bigger skein of yarn, even a one skein or two, if you decide you have two in your stash and you want to give it a try, you just keep going. You just
Yeah,
keep going. So a lot of the projects, the edging is integrated into the pattern. So
I love that.
like most of them. So that's just another strategy. That way, when you're done, you're done. There's
Yeah,
no going back and doing edging. There's no guessing how much yarn to set aside and leave for an edging.
yeah.
Like, you do it at the end of the row, and then you keep going and you keep going and you do some more edging and you go back. So the coral reef scarf is that way. The corner garden shawlette is that way. You're making the edging as you go so that when you're done with the project, the edging is already done.
I love that. Selena Baca does a lot of that too. Like I'm in the middle of making a blanket right now.
Mhm.
I'm totally sidetracking. So I'm making like I have 12 squares that are 12 by 12. And so I have one more square to make and then I have to seam them together and then put a border around it. And I'm just like, this is so much work. Like it's just way more work than I really like to
Right.
do because I like the idea. Like when I finish one of these, I'm like, "Oh, that's so great." But then I'm like, I'm not done
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, the
I'm like,
finishing.
oh,
Yeah, it's like second
oh,
sock syndrome only for, all
yes,
projects. It's not just so it just feels like there's more to do. And by then
yes,
I'm already distracted by the next shiny thing and I want to move on and it's
yes.
hard to finish. So most of the projects in the book, the edging is the border is integrated into the row so that when you're done, you're done.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. I love that you have this book, and I am curious, are you able to do any videos teaching how to make the patterns in the book, or are you able to just like teach maybe some techniques and say, I show this, I use this technique on XYZ pattern in this book. Go buy my
Yes.
book.
Yes.
I'm trying to integrate your YouTube
Yeah.
channel.
So the YouTube channel is off to a really great start. I have a really loyal fan base. Thank you, Chris and Dawn and everybody who's here. I really appreciate it. So on my channel, yes, I will do tutorials for the book. And so that you'll have a companion. If you have any tricky parts, I will be teaching the tricky parts on YouTube. And then I also do unboxings with yarn companies, and I have special stitches, and I have a lot of Tunisian. People love Tunisian patterns,
Yeah.
stitch patterns. So there's a lot of that going on. People seem to like live streams. I don't know why. I can be a little goofy. Sometimes people seem to like goofy. So I love my friends. And that is the biggest advantage to YouTube over the TV show. I loved the
Hmm.
TV show for the 5 seasons that I was on it, but YouTube, I get to actually talk to people and they get to
Yep.
talk to me. And when we do these live streams and I can read all the comments, it's like, yay, I'm with my people. I'm not lonely on this side of the desk anymore. We can all like crochet together, knit together. I do have a few knit on my channel, but it's mostly crochet. So it's like I get to know people and I love that. And so the YouTube channel is really a place to belong. It's a place
Yeah.
to belong. And
I agree with you. I agree with you. So now that I'm in Indiana
yes,
and I don't have a studio right now, but we're going to build a studio in my studio back up here. I'm only like 3 hours from you, if that.
right.
You need
Yeah.
to come here. We need to do videos together because we work great
Oh,
together.
absolutely. No, I can't wait. I cannot wait to come and see you. And I was trying to think of a way to get this done where I could come up, but Mara went away to college this week and or 2 weeks ago, and she was home for Labor Day and I started working full time and it just got crazy. So thank you for accommodating me for an evening
Oh,
time tonight.
absolutely.
But yeah, we can do it. We can come up. We can do a collaboration together where we're both
I
on the
would
same
love
side of
that.
the desk
I know, right?
again.
I would love that. So we should ask everybody in the comments whether you're watching live now or you're watching the replay later. Why don't you let us know what you would like to see Ellen and I maybe teach some things
Oh, that'd be
together for
fun.
you?
That'd be fun.
Right? Let's get some interaction here. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit subscribe to this YouTube channel and to Ellen's. I have put a link to the show notes in the video description box of this video. So everything, all Ellen's books, her YouTube channel, her blog, her everything is on the show notes. You can find all the information there, but make sure you go and click subscribe so that way you guys can be up to date whenever any of us put out new videos. But we would love to hear what you would like to see us collaborate on because, I mean, there's so many different things we could talk
We
about,
totally could. We could talk
right?
about everything and nothing.
I know.
I try to put out videos about just about every Wednesday. And so I started a new series, the Off to College series. So I've been making projects
Ah,
that are great gifts to give kids who are off to college, but really anybody. And I've been using Mara as that. And so a lot of my viewers are having fun watching me force crimson and cream onto my channel. It's like, the off to college series is what we're in the middle of right now. So you can stay tuned for more of those things.
I love that. I love that. And the good news is now with Red Heart being part of your inspirations, like I have so many yarns we can choose to do one skein projects even.
Yay!
Like that would be fun.
Right,
We could have
right.
all sorts of things.
I'm I got to tell you,
Yeah.
one of the projects Mara and I have been making together. So Mara's just went away to college, so she's 18. We've been making a granny square blanket where the final round is a little bit different. So just barely one step up above beginner. And we've been using chic sheep yarn for the whole thing.
Oh, that
We've
is
been
so
using
cool.
VIP and the cream. So I think that one's called
Linen, linen or lace?
lace.
Lace is more white.
Right. We've been using
Hmm.
lace. And so it's a blue and white homage to her alma mater from high school. And it's almost done. But
Oh,
there's a
cool.
series on my channel of us working it together, me teaching her how to do it, her saying what design she wanted and that kind of
Oh,
thing. So
that's so
it's
cool.
a fun little crochet along type series that's on the
Yeah.
channel that's kind of funny.
Does she like the yarn?
She loves it. She loves it. So she chose
Awesome.
it. So we have this big, almost queen size blanket now made out of it, and it's a gorgeous yarn, and it feels great, and it's nice and heavy and warm. It's wool, so I can know my baby girl's going to be warm in Indiana winters.
Yeah, apparently it gets really cold out here.
I'm probably
I
not
don't
any
know.
more cold than Denver.
You would think, I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's all new to me.
Yeah.
It's all
It's the
so
humidity,
new.
right? It's the humidity that's killing you, right, in Indiana?
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's not like super duper humid, but in the mornings it's definitely like there's dew on the ground and it's moist. My hair does not curl here.
It hasn't
Like,
learned how to get with the Indiana weather.
no, it is so
It's
bad.
not acclimated yet.
No,
Please
I
excuse
filmed
my hair is not acclimated.
so Knit Stars came out here to film some videos for me, right? So I got up in the morning, I did my hair, I'm looking all good, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go set up outside and have you come out there. We do the interview." I'm out there like 2 minutes. My hair is like plastered. Yeah, it's like yours, but it's like plastered to my head. And I looked at the guy like this. I was like, "Seriously?
Yeah.
I
I
I look
yeah,
awful. Why did
I
you have
hot
to
rolled
leave?"
this stuff. I hot rolled it.
What in the world? I just don't. I'm gonna have to get a perm.
Tint it blue, tint it blue. I dare you.
You never know. You never
I would
know.
love that. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Okay, are we doing? I don't even know if we're doing a giveaway. I didn't pull
Oh,
up any of this
yeah,
stuff. I didn't
yeah.
pull up any.
Well,
I usually have a sheet I pull up, and we were talking before, and we're trying to get all this to work, and I
yeah.
forgot.
At
So,
some point, they're going to send me books. I think. I think. So yes, if we have a person with a U.S. mailing address, I can send a hard copy, but I don't know if they
okay.
have any digital versions or not. So I can promise one hard copy to a winner with a U.S. mailing address, and you can run that however you wish.
Okay, cool. So let's give it away to the live people because they're here hanging out and just having a good time. So if you are watching live, all of you over there, and there's a good amount of you guys watching live right now, I want you to what should they write in their little what should they write to be entered for a chance to win? Because you're gonna randomly select
I
somebody.
know. Like, so I don't want to pick a number. Like,
No.
I mean, what do you mean? What should they write?
So, like, they could write "I love Ellen"
Oh, you can
or
always
"Go
write that.
crochet."
Yeah, you can always
All
write
right, I
that.
love Ellen, right? I love Ellen.
Ellen
So,
G. Everybody's like, Ellen DeGeneres? It's like, yes, she's perfectly
oh,
lovely, but I'm not her.
that's funny. Okay, I love Ellen G. I'm gonna write that down. I she's I love Ellen G. Yeah. All right, so
G
now it's on
Wagon,
there.
G Wagon, G Wagon, G Wagon.
All right. So, if you are in the U.S., you guys, and you want to be entered for a chance to win a hardback copy of Ellen's book, as soon as she gets it, make sure you write "I love Ellen G." They're starting to put them up there, so
Yay!
we'll let them start to write that out a little
Nice,
bit as we
nice.
chit chat. And I know people can go to the show notes. Once
Yes.
again, I did put a link to the show notes in the video description box, but let's tell people every place that you are on social media so they can follow you. All
Okay. Are you
right, I'm going
ready?
to click to
Okay. So my brand is Go Crochet. So if you just Google it, you'll find me. But I'm Ellen Gormley, Gormley, everywhere else. So Facebook, you can find me. Instagram, you can find me. Twitter, you can find me. YouTube, you can find me. I have a website, ellengormley.com. I'm at Love Crafts. And I sell patterns there. I sell patterns on my ellengormley.com website. Um, the best place to find me is YouTube. That's the best place to find me. Come and play and hang out and watch videos, hit play all, comment on every video, hang out, just stream them one right after the
Well played.
so
just let me be a part of your day.
yeah, let me play in the background. You log into work, you open a new tab, you put ellengormley.com, you hit play all. You're set for the day. Just sit back and relax. So the best place to reach me is on YouTube, because I do read the comments and respond to as many of them as I can. And I do try to give people shout outs in the middle of videos. But Ellen Gormley on Instagram and on Twitter and on Facebook and Love Crafts and all that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm on Love Crafts too. I'm going to go back. The sunset here is like super pretty, but it's all red.
Yeah, it's in your face.
I'm turning. There we are.
Oh, what a pretty gazebo. Is that your neighbor?
That is my neighbor. Let's hope they don't come out naked.
Well, maybe that would be fun.
Interesting. Not that people walk around naked all the time here in Indiana.
Maybe I'd
better
send them a crop top so that they can cover up.
My mom said to me, she goes, I want you to buy that house for me so that I can move in right there. And I was like, sure, Mom, I'll get right on that. She's like, I want that gazebo. I'm like, okay.
Very cute. It's very pretty.
It is very pretty. They have a nice little setup going up over there. Now I've lost my train of thought completely. All right, so
are we doing the giveaway? Is that where we're coming back to?
We are going to do the giveaway, but I know what I was going to say. I just recently, I had been adding all of my stuff to Love Crochet for quite a while, and I started doing that more often here. And I don't think people realize that that's an alternative to Ravelry. So if you don't want to go to Ravelry to buy patterns or do things, Love Crochet, you guys, is really, or not Love Crafts,
right,
is a really good website to go to and check out.
I think if you Google Love Crochet, it'll still link you back to Love Crafts. I think Love Crafts is the bigger umbrella.
Yeah, but that'll be the lucky winner.
Okay, tell me when you're going.
I am going now.
1, 2, 3, 4, now.
I stopped before you said now.
That's all right.
Because I thought you were going to stop on 4. Okay, so it's on Becky Bramlett.
Yay, Becky!
She wrote,
nice to meet you, Becky.
LNG, Becky Bramlett. So what do you need from Becky? I'm going to say congrats, Becky. And I'm going to have her email me.
Yes.
winner@yarnthingpodcast.com. But what do you need
just
from
her mailing address, her U.S. mailing address.
Okay.
And I'll sign it. But Becky, it might take like a couple weeks because I haven't received them yet, but I'm expecting them next week. Excuse me.
I'm going to ask for her phone number too, just because sometimes the post office.
So I can text you all the time, Becky. We can be friends. Like, sorry, it's 3 a.m. and none of my friends are available. Maybe Becky, because she loves me.
You know what? That's the biggest problem I'm having right now. Going from Mountain Time to East Coast Time, like in the morning. It used to be I could text everybody. It was no big deal, and everybody was up.
Yeah, but you and Joe especially, being Mountain Time, I'd like wake up in the morning and there'd be like 50 texts in our group chat. And I'm like, dang it, girls, I had to sleep. Like, I'm Eastern. You guys are up for 3 more hours without me. Like 6 in the morning, I'm like replying back to you, and you guys are all asleep. It's like 3 in the morning, Ellen. What are you doing texting us?
It's killing me, though. Like, I'm going to bed at midnight. And I'm like, I know my friends and family are still awake because it's only 10 o'clock in Colorado. I never go to bed at 10 o'clock. I mean, come on. So it's like, do I stay up a couple more hours? Like, no, because that's ridiculous. I need to go to sleep. But this time change stuff is really just giving me heck. But that's all right. So now
you got the hair and the sleep. Boy, Indiana's been hard so far. Like, you'll get in the groove.
Chiggers. There are chiggers here. Like, these things that embed them in the itch
Oh,
so bad.
I keep hydrocortisone cream in my desk at work because I'm like around my ankles, all the little jiggers. It's
Yes,
like, oh my
yes,
goodness, it's going to drive
yes.
me nuts.
Yeah.
Yep.
One good thing about Indiana that I really, not just one, there's several good things. Well, one is one of my longtime best friends, Adrian, lives here by me, which is really great. We haven't lived 10 minutes apart since high school.
Nice.
But one of the great things, the sports are amazing
Yes,
for
they
the
are.
kids. So that's been a really nice treat. I don't know, but then also being so close to you, and then so close to Lindsay, so close to Robin, like
Yes. Yes.
this is crazy how many people are close to this area.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a car ride. It's
Yeah.
a day trip. I could come up for lunch.
Girl, let's do that.
I'm on it. And Mara's now off to school, so
Oh, yeah.
I have more free time. Patrick, he doesn't want to hang out with me, because he's a boy and he doesn't want to crochet. So who do I have to talk to about yarn?
Oh
So
my
I'm
gosh.
coming.
Let's do
And didn't
it.
you say there was, well, you said there was a Mexican place, a Tex-Mex place that you really like that I've
Chewies.
never tried.
Oh, I love
I
Chewies.
know, right?
I love Chewies. Their jalapeno ranch, like I'm salivating thinking about it. It's like crack. It's so good. It's so good. Anyways, hold on. Somebody's asking. Becky, just email Marley the info she asked for. Easy peasy. Yes, Becky, really easy. Congratulations, first off. Just email me. The email address is winner@yarnthingpodcast.com, and with your mailing address and your phone number, and we will send that off to Ellen. And as soon as she gets the books in hand, she will sign it for you and send it off to you. Super easy. All right, Ellen, I love you.
I love
I
you.
love
Thank you
I
so
love talking
much.
to you. This was fun. It was a good time. And John, thank you so much for just hanging out over there. He's going into the kitchen now that I moved the
Does he have a shirt
camera.
on?
He has a shirt on, and they want to see you. Can they see you? All right, I'm turning it. Here we go. Say
Hey, you've
hello.
got a shirt on. Hey, John. Good to see
He's
you.
he's
Welcome
like,
to
you're so
Indiana.
weird.
Congrats
Yeah.
on the new job.
He loves it. He loves it here.
Good.
He loves the job. He loves Indiana,
Good,
but
good,
we could
good.
talk about that stuff later.
Good.
Congratulations on your new book.
Thank
I
you.
can't wait to see what else comes out from you and all the success. Let me
Yeah, One Skein Crochet on Amazon. Yay. Go get
I
it.
love that purse. That purse is super cute on there.
Yeah, that's Lion Brand.
Oh, that's super cute. Super duper cute. All right, my friend. Thank you so much for everything. And everybody that joined us today for the podcast, thank you for joining in. Make sure you have hit subscribed, clicked that like button, you guys, and make sure you leave a comment below letting us know what you would like Ellen and I to collaborate on together as far as videos. All right, guys, that is it from us here. See you later.
I love you. Thank you.